Yeah, we talk for development, so we usually would look at the various sectors that affect you and I. For those of you just in, I am Kala Dakoru Batbor. You can follow me on social media, the Kalada, TheKalada. You can watch the show live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH. You can watch it live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH, and we're active on X, well, Nigeria Info PH. All right, so I do have my guest ready. It's time for us to kickstart a conversation. Now, a couple of days ago, there was the call for, and this is not the first time we're getting to hear this, because I remember that during Buhari's administration, taxes were put on sweetened beverages, soft drinks and the likes, non-alcoholic beverages. And the reason, of course, was to fight diseases that were result from too much consumption of sugary products, right? And this week, we did see the call for more taxations on these sweetened drinks, this sweetened beverages. And by the way, today is World Food Safety Day, right? So this is a good conversation for that. Now, I also do understand that a lot of Nigerians, due to the economic situation, turn to these non-alcoholic beverages as a way to, get by. They put it in their stomach so that they can get by till when they can have a proper meal. And if we now increase the taxes on this, it means that this sweetened drinks, soft, it could be soda, it could be malt, it could be any of them. It means that these products will become more expensive and out of the reach of the common man. So joining me for this conversation is Abayomi Sarumi, who is the Senior Program Manager, Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa. And by the way, they made the call in the course of the week for increase in taxation of sweetened drinks, or you can put it non-alcoholic beverages. All right, welcome on the show, Abayomi. Can you hear me now?
Yes, good evening. Thank you. It's good to be here. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Loud and clear. So my first question to you, and thank you for joining me once again, is why are you making, or why is CAPA, that's the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, making a call for a further increase in the price of sugar sweetened beverages?
Thank you very much. It is not just CAPA. But we are privileged to be leading a coalition of more than 40 civil societies, including religious groups, community-based organizations, including specific professional associations like the Nigerian Delta Association and the likes. A group of individuals and civil society organizations that understand the issues around sugar sweetened. We are asking basically to say that preventive measure is the best for some of the issues that we have in non-communicable diseases. The risk factors, so a lot of people have described, even science described non-communicable diseases in different ways, but the risk factors are modifiable things that will get involved in. So when you say something is modifiable, it means these are things that we can change. And we can change from the consumption of sugar sweetened beverages that has no nutritive value, but definitely contributes to diet related diseases in the body, globally, everywhere. SSBs have been implicated in contributions to the rise in non-communicable disease. So what we are saying is simple. We are asking the government to play its part. Take this is away from the reach of the people. They are legal products, yes, we understand. But when you reduce the affordability, because this is one of the issues that is very, very common. People can access it. You would see 33 cl, 50 cl. In some places, the ones that get kids are even in smaller sizes, not even up to 33 cl. It means that people can easily get them, accessibility, affordability, and it combines with every other risk factors to worsen the issues of health in Nigeria. And without taking away from efforts that we've made, we know that we do not have a health system that we can say is entirely robust. So the things that we can take off the way, the issues that we can address at the preventive level, everybody understand that prevention is better than cure. So the things that we can take away at the preventive level, we need to do that. And that is why CAPA, in collaboration with more than 40 organizations, which forms the National Sugar Sweetened Beverages Tax Coalition, is asking the federal government, through the necessary agencies, to take action, increase the taxes on SSBs. We are grateful to the government for putting that 10 naira tax, but it is far below global best practices. It is not adjusted against inflation. This was introduced in 2021. Collection started in 2022. 10 naira in 2021. Even in 2022, you understand that 10 naira at that time is no longer at the same value this time. So it is a very simple thing. Okay. We need to protect the populace. We need to protect the health of Nigerians, and this is why we are asking for an increase in the SSB tax. Thank you.
I understand your argument. Prevention is better than cure. I mean, that line has been there for God knows how long. But some people would say or argue, why is the CSOs not tackling the government on providing a robust health care system that can, take care of people who what they call it, premium enjoyment. Nigerians like premium enjoyment, and you're about to take their premium enjoyment from them. Secondly, we should also look at it from when you say sugar sweetened drinks. It most likely would affect alcohol. I can't call the brands now, but there's certain alcohol that have sugar in it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so are you saying these people should not have their premium enjoyment, like they call it?
Thank you very much. I like the angle that this is going, but to my listeners, to the very good people that have tuned into this conversation, when we say premium enjoyment, what exactly are we saying? Are we talking about enjoyment that hurts our health, that limits our productivity? Or we are talking about premium enjoyment that improves our health, that improves our productivity? SSB is the first category. It has no value. It is free sugar, it is added sugar, and it contributes majorly to risk factors of non-communicable diseases, diabetes and obesity. Right. And you see, if we want to enjoy ourselves, there are ways to go about these things. First, I know some people are already wondering, are you saying we should do away with sugar? Nearly all the food classes that we eat in Nigeria has a level of sugar that can supply your body for what it needs daily for its functionality. So what is the essence of the extra sugar, the added sugar, the refined sugar, the free sugar that your body cannot process? The premium enjoyment cannot be called premium if it does not contribute to your well-being. If it makes your situation worse, it is not premium enjoyment. It is trouble in its best way. In Nigeria, we call them soft drinks, but the impacts that they have on our health are nowhere near soft. They are very hard, and they are lifelong impact that the individual will continue to manage. And I use the word manage because it should always be in that person's body system. And the only thing to do is to manage across a lifetime. That being said, there is an existing tax on alcohol, in fact, in different categories. And this is part of why we are grateful to you and your platform for allowing us to come out and share what we are doing. The taxes on alcohol have been there for a very long time. In fact, there is a sectoral roadmap. There's a sectoral roadmap on how to increase them from time to time. right? But people do not bother about this. And I know why you ask, because the production also has a lot of sugar in it. But because that has been taxed already, and we have a very moral society that is permitted to be said. People view those who take alcohol in a different way. People would, some platform, our religious organizations would not take support from alcoholic brands, but they will take from non-alcoholic brands. Whereas both the alcohol and the non-alcoholic sugar-laden drinks are injurious to our health.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So there is also what is called the commercial determinants of health. They market these products to us as things that would make us feel very good. The feel good feeling that they sell is not feeling any good, and it is nowhere near premium health. But I think you mentioned earlier those that rely on this for their own enjoyment. We have a choice to make. But in making that choice, I must say was that there's no alternative to good health. There is no alternative to it at all. So we cannot say, oh, I'll take one today, maybe I'll take three tomorrow. Because some, especially sugar in the drink, are also very addictive. And that is why you would see some people, they would say, oh, without a bottle of so brand, I cannot eat very well. Without a bottle of so brand, I cannot go to work. Or in fact, our colleagues in the newsroom, some of them would always have a bottle of a particular brand in their drawer because we've been told that it relaxes us and it replenishes our energy. Yes, well, because I have a couple of media friends too, and I know how it goes. And because some of us sit behind the desk for a very long period of time, we now add other things. I am even grateful that you mentioned that today is World Food Safety Day. And the component of healthy food in its entirety, that because if the food is not healthy, it is not safe. And the core principles of healthy food, according to the World Health Organization, is to limit free sugar, limit sodium and iodized salt, shift from saturated fat, and increase fruit consumption, and ensure that there is availability of free drinking water. My brother, I must tell you, the only premium enjoyment comes from water.
All right.
That's the premium enjoyment and the best alternative.
All right. We do have a commercial break coming up, but I've got several other questions I would like to ask you after the commercial break. For instance, when we talk sugar, we have good amounts, like you mentioned, in the carbohydrate foods that we eat, the food, the all of that. But when we do come back from the commercial, we'll talk more about that. Please do stay tuned.
Are you ready? The IDP Study World Expo
Hard Facts at 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Korubata, but remember you can follow me on social media, the Kalada, TheKalada, and I have with me via the phone Abayomi Sarumi, and we are looking at a reduction of the intake of sugar sweetened beverages, and Kappa is asking for an increase in taxation. Now, the question I would throw at you eventually is, do you think there should be some regulation, or increment in taxation on sweetened beverages, sugar sweetened beverages, or non-alcoholic beverages, whichever one suits the narrative? But do you think that should be the case? Anyways, back to you, Abayomi. Thank you for joining me on the show, and welcome back.
Thank you very much. Good to be here again. I'm sorry. Did you ask a question already?
No, I've not. I just greeted you. I want to ask the question now.
I want to be sure that I did not miss it.
All right. So I want to ask you now. Oh my! When you say sugar sweetened, sugar sweetened drinks and how it is harmful to the body. Someone who is into dieting and the health sector would tell you that the food we eat, and you rightly mentioned, the fufu, akpu, whatever name it is called, the gari we bake, the rice we eat, all of it has got starch that when broken down in the body, it's broken down to sugar as a component, just like the sugar in sweetened drinks. So now the question then is, is it not just to choose how do I say it again? All die not die, but choose. There's a way to put it, but I can't remember it now. But I mean, what's the difference, really?
Okay, thank you very much. Remember that before we went on that break, I was reading out the core principles of healthy diet, and I mentioned limiting free sugars and increasing fruits. So this is the basic thing. When we say sugar sweetened beverages, because we've also heard similar questions to this, where they ask you, "What are you against these businesses in particular?" And I'm saying no. You would notice that in all of my responses, I've mentioned added sugar, free sugar, and refined sugar. All three of them describe the category of sugar that are used in these drinks. Let me say clearly, I don't know the best way, but if you take gari or pap or whatever indigenous food that you take, and you load it up with sugar, added sugar, cubes of sugar, granulated one, you load it with that sugar, it is already a sugar sweetened beverage.
Okay.
Right. We know it is not taxed. You made it in your home. Okay. But when you take your apple, or I am taking my pounded yam, yes, it is going to break down into that glucose, but it is going to be processed more slowly. Okay. And this means that the blood glucose level would be at a level that the body can control, that the body can manage. The body is like a machine. It's like a complex machine. When you begin to overload it with free sugar, that goes straight into your bloodstream, because it is in a liquid form, no fiber, no skin, no additional natural part of it to balance it out. It goes straight into your bloodstream, and when it cannot be managed, when it cannot be controlled, that's when it begins to lead to the risk factors that we mentioned. So the basic difference is that sugar that exists in the food that we are eating naturally, remember again, they are usually enough for the body functionality, for optimal functioning of the body. So what happens is it comes into the body, but it is broken down gradually. It does not belabor the system. It takes its time, and it goes gradually into the bloodstream. Unlike the one that is already in fluid or in whatever format that you are consuming the SSB. It could be in sports drink, it could be in energy drink. In any way we are consuming it, it goes straight into the bloodstream, and this is what creates that imbalance. And when you continue to overload it, it cannot process it at the speed that it should, that would stabilize the body. But let me quickly say this, because it has come to my head like twice. Now, when people are saying why SSBs, because this tax is not on sugar. We are not asking the government to tax sugar. We are asking government to tax sugar sweetened beverages, the ones that we call soft drinks. A lot of them energy drinks, many of them sports drinks. All those drinks contain a lot of added sugar. And there is a popular brand in Nigeria that everybody, at least science, some researchers and some medical experts have informed us. In fact, there is a popular skit, not skit, let's say skit, a very short content on it, that says it has a minimum of 14 cubes of sugar. Sir, if I am seated across you right now and I bring my bowl of gari, no matter how big that bowl is, and I dip 14 cubes of sugar into it, would you not ask me if everything is okay at home? But because we have these drinks packaged in a very attractive and not harmful ways, let me use that word, we can easily gulp them, meaning we've got like 14 cubes of sugar. Some of us, when we go to parties, we would collect one here and stand up and sit on the next table and say, oh, they've not given me, so we can have more to take home. Then when we get home, we now begin to unload them into our system. Take 2, take 3. Some of us then say, oh, I want to take a walk, so I will go with one bottle, so I will take another bottle throw, and I will work it out. No,
but I was going to ask you a question. So you're saying exercise? I was going to ask you that question. You just took it out of my mouth. So you're saying exercise cannot burn the sugar, because the mentality is, if I do exercises, it will help me burn out the sugar.
The exercise cannot burn out excess sugar. Excess sugar would remain excess in the body. There is a recent study of the WHO that confirmed that.
Okay.
Yes, that confirmed it. A recent study. Similar to that is some of the campaign message. Let me use the word campaign message from producers of these beverages that they use in the northern part of Nigeria. They'll say, "Oh, don't worry. No matter how many bottles you take, you are under the sun. The sun will dry it off." No, it is not drying it off. I remember when we had the community engagement in Kaduna, and people were saying, "No, we are in the north here. Did you not feel the sun? It will burn. It will burn out the sugar in you." Said, "No, this is not happening. It is just a way to keep you coming back to ask for more." And deliberately, I mean, a lot of people have attested to it that the way we eat sugar in Nigeria is even different. The southwest, the south generally, and the north, there is a way that we consume sugar, and part of that is the false message that says, "Oh, when you eat enough sugar, the sun can take it off your body."
Right.
It does not.
Our time is almost up.
In the bloodstream.
All right. Our time is almost up, so I'm going to ask you this now. So, do you really think taxation or regulation will really work? Now, I'll tell you this: cigarettes. Since I was a child, or even before I was a child, in the 70s, if not, if my memory, if my statistics are right, we've always had taxes on cigarettes. We've always had some kind of regulations. I mean, there is so many ways to dissuade people from indulging, but guess what? We've got more people even indulging in cigarettes than, so the question then is, would this even be effective? Because people are addicted, like you said. These drinks can be addictive. People have the notion that, if I exercise, or like you said, in the northern part of the country, if they stand under the sun, and trust me, the north is very hot, the sugar will burn. So how effective do you think this will be?
Okay, thank you very much. I like the fact that you repeatedly use the word effective. because effective taxation is very, very important. Excuse me. And for the tax to be effective, it has to be a multi-sectoral approach, right? And this is one of the reasons we are saying the current tax is not enough. Because first, it is a very negligible figure. Any producer can take on the 10 naira and say, oh, don't worry, I will pay this 10 naira on behalf of my consumers. But an effective tax must be passed on to the consumer. So let's say we are asking the government, based on a simulation study in Nigeria, using economic models, consumption pattern, the population of Nigeria, and the estimated rate of consumption as released by Statista, to say that the minimum tax that can be that can have a pass-through is 130 naira per liter. Remember that it is 10 naira per liter. It means that we are buying less than a liter, let's say 33 cl, the tax on it is even less than 5 naira. So the producer can take it. That tax can never be effective. It cannot deter anybody, but we have to start from somewhere. Now, if it is at 130 naira, it must also be adjusted for inflation. This study was completed last year and just so to discourage. But it is not just in the taxes that it will be effective. It has to be adjusted for inflation. It must be passed through. It must be evidence-based. That's on the taxes. To do that again, there must be awareness creation. And many thanks again to you and your platform for giving us this time to speak to the people. Because it is also important for the people to see that there is a need for this tax, so that they see that the government is not trying to put them in more bondage that they can afford. You know, we already have different issues in the country. So this is not to put them in a worse place. This is to take them away. Because when they are down with diseases, the average, you know, we are still fighting for minimum wage. That minimum wage that is not enough to take care of the family. We're now going into taking care of diseases. The person who earns for the family, probably the breadwinner is the one that is sick. The second next person that can earn, we now have to take care of that person. Two persons are losing income, and that is a cyclic a system that now begins to affect not just the health of that one person, but the social fabrics of the family. But that's the on one side. So we must to have an effective tax, there must be a higher tax rate that is adjusted for inflation and evidence-based, passed through to the consumer. There must be effective and strong communications with the people. We must connect with the people. So this is why we are not just coming to the radio. Please, just a second. This is why we are not just coming to the radio. As we are engaging with you, we are engaging with lawmakers. We are engaging with religious institutions, traditional institutions, and the community to understand what is going on. And these are the things that will contribute to the environment that will give us an effective tax rate. But you made mention of cigarette also. Remember again that we both agree that there is the issue of addiction. So it has to also be a broader system. Cigarette packages have a couple of warnings, and now they are moving to a different thing. We had World No Tobacco Day last month, and Nigeria has a drop in numbers of smokers. But it is not just because of labels and taxes. It is because more work are being done by different groups in the country to talk about the dangers of this.
I really have to go now. My time is up. I've got to go. I even have one more question to ask you, what the alternatives would be, but at this point I would have to say goodbye because I've got another commercial. But thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm still speaking the fact that what I
confirm sneakers now. When you can't travel,
me. All right. Travel, okay. Me waiting my house here.
How you take order these Adidas sharp